Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun and the third largest, about 4 times wider than Earth. So if Earth were the size of a nickel, Uranus would be about as big as a softball. It is about 19 times the distance between the Sun and Earth, but at this distance, it only takes sunlight 2 hours and 40 minutes to travel. We believe Uranus formed around 4.5 billion years ago when the rest of the solar system formed as gravity pulled swirling gas and dust together to become this ice giant. Interestingly, like its neighbor Neptune, Uranus likely formed closer to the Sun, but somehow moved to the outer solar system about 4 billion years ago, where it is now the seventh planet from the Sun. It takes only 17 hours to complete a spin around its axis compared to 24 hours here on Earth. However, because it is much further from the Sun, it takes about 84 years, roughly the span of a human lifetime, to complete one orbit. Uranus is the coldest planet in our solar system. Yes, you heard me right, not Neptune, but Uranus, despite being the second furthest from the Sun. It holds this title because its atmosphere can go as low as minus 224 degrees Celsius. It's also extremely windy out there. Uranus is one of 2 ice giants in the outer solar system along with Neptune. At least 80% of the planet's mass is composed of a hot dense fluid of icy materials which are water, methane and ammonia, which sit above a small rocky core. Close to the core, the temperature can reach as high as 4,982 degrees Celsius. It appears blue or greenish due to the methane gas in its atmosphere, which absorbs red light but allows blues to be reflected back. That being said, Uranus' atmosphere is mostly composed of hydrogen and helium. Methane, along with traces of water and ammonia, only accounts for a small proportion. We have now learned that there's actually a lot going on in Uranus' atmosphere. Around this equinox, there are dynamic clouds with rapidly changing bright spots, and there's also the Great Dark Spot, a huge storm similar to Jupiter's Great Red Spot. The storm is so big that it can cover 2/3 of the United States, and what's more, Voyager 2 even spotted a smaller dark spot during its flyby. As an ice giant, Uranus doesn't really have a surface as it is mostly composed of swirling fluid, so a spacecraft would have nowhere to land. It wouldn't be able to fly through its atmosphere safely anyway, as the extreme pressures and temperatures would destroy a metal spacecraft. Such an environment is not conducive to life, as the temperatures, pressures and materials on this planet are most likely too extreme and volatile for organisms to adapt to. Uranus was the first planet discovered with a telescope. At first, people thought it was either a comet or a star like Sun. It took 2 years before everyone agreed it was actually a new planet. So far, only one spacecraft has got up close to this ice giant, that is NASA's Voyager 2. Uranus is definitely qualified as the most bizarre and mysterious planet in our solar system. It spins on its side by rotating at almost a 90-degree angle from the plane of its orbit. Its equator is tilted at about 97 degrees, making it orbit the Sun like a rolling ball. Scientists think that a collision with an Earth-sized object long ago caused this. Because of its unique tilt, Uranus has the most extreme seasons in the solar system. For almost a quarter of each Uranian year, the Sun shines directly over one pole, leaving the other half of the planet in the 21-year-long dark winter. Another thing that makes Uranus stand out in our solar system is that it's one of just two planets that rotate in the opposite direction of most planets. Venus is the other one. This means that if we lived on Uranus, the sun would rise in the west and set in the east, completely the opposite of what we and most other planets experience. That's not everything that makes Uranus so weird. Its magnetic field is truly out of the ordinary. The magnetosphere has a very irregular shape and isn't aligned with its rotation. The magnetic axis is tilted nearly 60 degrees from the planet's axis of rotation and is offset from the center by about a third of the planet's radius. Because of this quirky setup, Uranus's auroras don't line up with the poles like they do on Earth, Jupiter, and Saturn. Besides this unusual misalignment, the magnetosphere also has a tail on the side opposite the Sun. This tail stretches millions of miles into space and twists into a long corkscrew shape because of Uranus's sideways rotation. Like the other outer planets in our solar system, Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune, Uranus has 28 known moons and 2 sets of rings. What's interesting is that all of the inner moons are closely connected with Uranus's rings, meaning that they orbit in the same region and plane as the rings. Scientists suspect that this is probably because one or several small inner moons broke apart.